Hi everybody, this is Tiffany from Cubby Stitches and welcome to my FlossTube channel. Wanted to take a few minutes and go over some things that I've been working on this week. I think I got quite a bit done. Really excited, and you'll have to forgive Molly in the background. Molly the Great Dane got a new toy, and so she's really excited about it, and you can hear the paper rustling in the back, and she has a squeaker going at the same time, so please pardon that. But I want to take a few minutes, like I said, and go over some things so you can see right here. Her head will pop up every now and then. But I wanted to go over some finishes that I have, and some things that I found this week, and some things that I'm still working on. And so let it begin. So the first thing I wanted to show, even after I showed last week, I'm in love with this little thing. And also I'm still pumping up the stain removal ingredients that I had listed in, I think it's video 2, and to go over that. But this is a little pillow that again, isn't that adorable? This one was done back in 1986, but I got it finished last week. But I still am so in love with it. Some of the little precious moment ones I am taking and putting them as pillows because they're just so adorable. Another one that I was able to finish this week, and I'm looking into getting some things to go around the outside of it. As you can see, love one another. Isn't that cute? And this one was done in 1984, and it finally got done this week. So again, I'm really excited about the little pillows. And what I do for my little pillows to make them stand is I put about to right here is crushed walnut shells, and then the rest of it is like a polyfill, kind of a stuffing. And the same thing with this little pillow here. There is walnut shells down here to make it stand, and then there's the polyfill up here. So I can stand these right here, or I can probably stand them on my bookcase, and that's probably what I'll do. The place that I usually cut and sew or get my cross stitch together, I've had them sitting there with a bowl that my son finished for some wood. He took a block of wood and turned it into a bowl for me, so I'm really excited. I'm using this for safety pins right now. Another finish, and this one was hot off the press. I finished it today, but it's not really finished. I want to take a bow and put on top of it, but you can see this adorable this was the one that if you watch the first video, I had 2002. I just took that off, and that way I can use it. I don't know that it's centered. It may not be centered. I may need to take it off and recenter it. But I started stretching it, and I saw these cute little sequin pins, and they look like snowflakes to me. So I was like, you know what? I want to show those off. So what I'll do is I'll probably end up getting a bow to put up here for it, but I just thought that was so adorable. And taking the year off, I can show it every single year and bring it out with the decorations. So that was one. And one of the quilting that I showed last week, really excited that I got it done. And the crazy thing about it is it didn't take me any time at all. It was just actually setting out my machine, making sure I had a walking foot for the quilting part, and then I hand stitched some decorative designs around it. So let me hop up and I'll show you that one. So this is the one that I showed last week, and it is finished. I'll show you the back. You can see the stitching on it, the heart stitching. That is by hand. These lines here, they're machine stitched just to keep it held down with the center ones. But I wanted to show you, I enjoy big stitch quilting, and that is taking a bigger stitch or a bigger bite of the fabric than the traditional quilting, which is very fine quilting and using a lot of thread. And so here you can see the stitching around here. This is the big stitch quilting. And this is DMC floss, is like 6 threads of DMC. I think it was like number 847. But what I did is I went around with all of it, and you can see around here, around the little heart, to make it fluffier and stand out more. And then this one over here, the third one. Now I think what I'm going to do with this one is put it in our bedroom. But this is like so adorable. And you can see here the big, you can't really see it much here, but I had thought about using different color thread, but this really just makes it stick out, and it's very fluffy. So this is for this one. I'm really excited I got that one done. was going to try to work on the Quilt of Valor for my father-in-law this week, but I was focusing on getting some of the smaller projects done, so she's going to town on that squeaker tonight. And so I'm going to work on it this week and hopefully be able to show you at least the piece top. I've got the components together, but it's not put together as far as the blocks go. The fabric is really, really cool. I'll see if I can get the fabric out and show you some of the fabric from that. So Miss Molly is a nosy body, and I'm trying to get the quilt out of the bag, and she's nosy, so she has to come and check everything out. But I wanted to show you some of the blocks for the Quilt of Valor, so you can show it. And if you have any questions about Quilt of Valor, I know the foundation, if you sew it all and you are willing to make just one block and send it in, that's perfectly fine. If you don't have any fabric but you know how to sew, you can request some fabric from them as well, and they'll send you some along with a template for a block, and you can do that. You can do as many blocks as you want. I know there's a waiting list for Quilts of Valor for veterans. When I found out about this at my quilt guild, I was really excited because the first person I thought of was my father-in-law. And so I'm really, really excited to do this for him, and it's kind of like he doesn't know about it. The really cool thing about the Quilts of Valor presentation is that during the presentation, the lady was describing that they take the quilts and they wrap it around the veteran when they present it. And that to me is just shows them that they are loved no matter what. I wanted to show you some of the blocks and the fabric that I've chose for the middle of it. It's going to be really cool. This is one of the blocks you can see. And it is a red, white, and blue quilt. But I also wanted to incorporate, he was a veteran of the Air Force. And so I tried to look for some Air Force material. And these were a block of the month. And if you don't know what a block of the month is, I have a quilt shop in Tennessee from where I used to live, and every month I could pick up a block for a certain amount. I want to say anywhere from $5 to $12, all the material, and then I cut and make the block. So one of the nice things about some of these quilt blocks or quilt of the month is in the very beginning you can make a block, and if you take it into the shop and show them that you've made it, you can get the next month for free. Really cool. So you could do a whole quilt top, really, really inexpensive, and most of them are like $5 to $7 for the very first block. So if you're pretty good at keeping up with that, that'd be awesome. Let's see, there's the next block. You can see the different color reds in it. And like I said, these will be going on the outside of the quilt. I have to focus on the middle part at first because I want there to be a focus on the fabric that I bought. And so this is another one. And I think these do have names. These are this one is the flying geese. Flying geese. These are the flying geese. The next one is called Mosaic is the name of this block. Isn't that pretty? Oh, love the fabrics. And I've always wanted to make a red, white, and blue quilt, and this was a perfect opportunity. And so I'm really, really excited about it. I was supposed to have had it made for Thanksgiving, but 2 days before I was like, I don't have enough opportunity or enough time. So this is the Ohio Star block. This will take me just a little bit of time to get together, but I'm really excited, and something very special for my father-in-law. He was a Vietnam vet, and so I know it was pretty difficult for them when they came back from overseas. This one here is called Ribbon Star is the name of this one. A lot of like triangles, which can make it a little difficult to quilt because the fabric is on a bias. So when it's on a bias like that, it stretches. And when it stretches, it's difficult to quilt because you can get it all wonky. This block is called Half Red, Half Blue Star. which is what I thought this was so cute. Isn't that awesome? I think they're 12.5-inch blocks, and so I'll have to sit down and do some math. So I'm glad that number one, I'm an accountant or retired accountant, and the other is I teach geometry and algebra. So to be able to put that into practice is really really cute. This next one is called Star Variation. I love the blues. Okay, the first ones, I don't know if you want the names of them, because the first three I forgot. So this one is called Weather Vane. This one here that I showed you is called Weather Vane. And then the next one was Gentleman's Fancy. It kind of looks like a card game, doesn't it? And then the other one that I missed was called Contrary, is that right? Contrary Wife? Not sure about that one. But this is Contrary Wife. Isn't that cute? So as you can see, it is going to be a red, white, and blue quilt, which I'm really excited. I'd always wanted to make my grandmother a red, white, and blue, and my other grandma wanted to make a black and white and have a little bit of red in it because she was a little bit sassy. So last week I was showing this one, and this is the one that I hope to work on this week and get it done. And if I can do my time correctly throughout the week instead of working only on cross stitch for most of the time, and then at the very end trying to shove in some quilting. But I would like to try to plan this week a little bit better as far as time management and getting quilting done plus cross stitching done. And my mom's looking for an Afghan as well. I know with her hands being so arthritic, I may end up doing a blanket, a crochet blanket for her. But right now we're going to hold off on that just to see, you know, if she's able to do it, and also for me to get some projects done as well. Doing this YouTube video has really inspired me to finish a lot of the projects, and I already have some projects slated on what I'm going to do with them, and I really can't wait to share. So let me show you this one. This is the one that I was hoping on getting quilted mostly, but hopefully finished. But this is the one here. It's all pinned and ready. I just need to quilt it, and I'm not really sure how I'm going to quilt it yet. Maybe doing some big stitch quilting on the curves here instead of, I don't really machine quilt because I don't have the confidence in it yet. I know there's a lot of templates out there, but just getting the tension correct kind of, I try not to be a perfectionist, but if it doesn't look the way it's supposed to in my mind, then I'm like, I'm not going to do it. So the big stitch quilting, I can put a template down, mark it, and do it by hand. I'm not going to say faster because machine quilting is faster, but it also gives a more homey feel. And so I may do a combination of machine quilting and big stitch quilting on this one. So stay tuned, hopefully, to get that finished. One more thing that I wanted to share with you. I had a friend from high school reach out to me through Facebook, and she said that her grandmother had quilted a quilt top, sewn a quilt top for her when she was a little girl, and her great grandmother passed away before she was able to get it finished. So she asked me if I would be interested in finishing it for her, and so I got that in the mail today, and I'm really, really excited to get started on that. I've taken it out of the box for a few minutes, but Nosy Molly got involved in it, and I'm like, oh, no, we're not doing that. This is really the first time that I'm going to be opening it. Carmen is the lady that sent it to me, but you can see this is the back. There's all different kinds of material, which is the awesome part of these very, very old quilts, is the simple fact that during that time they use polyester, they used cotton, they used shirting, they used whatever that they could find because there wasn't the type of fabric that's out there nowadays. There's denim, there's just about every kind of thing, flannel. I think I feel some flannel as well. But I'm really, really excited to get started on this. Let me see if I can show you some of it. I don't think that I'll be able to show you all of it because it feels like it may be, I don't think it's, we'll see. I hope you can see it. This is about as much, this is probably about a queen size. And so I'm really excited to get started on this as well. It will take me a little bit of time to work on this one with the simple fact that it is such a large piece. I will be going to the store. Sorry for being out of the view, but I will be going to the store and getting backing for it. I already have some batting that goes in the middle of it. I'll be able to go and start working on that as well. But I wanted to show you, and I hope Carmen doesn't mind. I probably should have gotten her permission. I always like to include something very personal in the quilts that I work on for other people. And this was a picture of her grandmother that she sent. And again, Carmen, I hope you do not mind me showing you this. She was born in 1889 and she died in 1979. But I thought that Carmen said this is a picture of her quilting a bicentennial quilt for the town of Alma, Michigan, for their bicentennial celebration. I mean, that just sounds like a giving woman right there. And her name, Dieta Schaefer Peacock. And so I'm really excited to finish one of her quilts. The piecing is awesome. It's all by hand. And so I will be hand quilting the quilt to kind of keep up with the theme of it. For me, it's kind of hard to machine quilt an old piece like this for the simple fact that it may not be square, but it also doesn't keep in time with a piece. People that love on these, you know, to know that it's hand stitched and it's finished and it's loved, I'm really excited to work on this for her. So thank you, Carmen, for sending it to me. Thank you for asking me to work on it. I'm really excited about that. I think that's all that I have this week, but I wanted to thank you for watching my video. And if you like or subscribe or share the video, I would love that. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll be back next week. Also wanted to mention too, this is 1 month. 4 videos that I've been on or posted to YouTube, and I have enjoyed doing it. It has got me kicked in the butt to get some things done and get some things finished, and it's just kind of reignited my love for cross stitch and for quilting. And so thank you very much for joining, and if you like and subscribe, and I'll see you next week.